The Secret of the Rosary, Part 29. Indulgences. An indulgence is the remission before God of the temporal punishment due for sins, which have already been forgiven as far as their guilt is concerned. Indulgences are granted by God through the Catholic Church, which, as ministers of the redemption, dispenses and applies the treasury of the satisfaction won by Christ and the saints. Through the guilt of sin and the eternal punishment it may have merited before are remitted by sacramental absolution. Measurable punishments before or after death is still required in order to satisfy God's justice, even for sins already forgiven. To the extent we fail to atone sufficiently for our sins during our lifetimes on earth, we will suffer for a given time in purgatory. An indulgence cancels or lessens this non-eternal punishment. In order to gain an indulgence, one must be baptized, not excommunicated, and in the state of grace, at least at the completion of the prescribed work. In order to gain indulgences, one must have at least a general intention of gaining them. If at the beginning of the day we make an intention to gain all the indulgences we can that day, we do not have to make this intention each time we perform a work to which an indulgence is attached. An indulgence may be gained for oneself, or may be offered for souls in purgatory, but may not be applied to another living person. A plenary indulgence remits all the punishment due for sin and makes possible immediate entrance into heaven after death. New norms. To gain a plenary indulgence, it is necessary to perform the work to which the indulgence is attached and to fulfill three conditions: sacramental confession, Eucharistic communion, and prayer for the intentions of the Pope. The recitation of one Our Father and one Hail Mary fully suffices, though we are free to recite any other prayer we desire. It is further required that all attachment to sin, even venial, be absent. If this disposition is in any way less than complete, or if the three prescribed conditions are not fulfilled, the indulgence will only be partial. The three conditions may be fulfilled several days before or several days after performing the prescribed work. Nevertheless, it is fitting that communion be received and prayer for the Pope's intention be said at the same day the work is performed. A single confession suffices for gaining several plenary indulgences. However, one must receive Holy Communion and pray for the Pope's intention for each plenary indulgence. To be able to gain a daily plenary indulgence, one should go to confession at least every 2 weeks. Only one plenary indulgence can be acquired each day, unless a person is at the point of death. In that event, even after gaining a plenary indulgence that day, one can gain the plenary indulgence for the moment of death. A partial indulgence remits only part of the punishment due for sin, and is now granted without designation of a specific number of days or years. The faithful who, at least with a contrite heart, perform an action or recite a prayer to which a partial indulgence is attached, obtain, in addition to the remission of temporal punishment acquired by the action itself, an equal remission of punishment through the intervention of the Church. The amount remitted depends on the person's fervor or on the greatness of the sacrifice, and on how perfectly the act is performed. Any number of partial indulgences can be acquired each per day, unless otherwise indicated. Indulgences for praying the Rosary. A plenary indulgence is granted for reciting 5 decades of the Rosary in a Catholic church or in a family group, religious community, or pious association. A partial indulgence is granted in any other circumstance. The 5 decades must be recited continuously. The vocal recitation must be accompanied by pious meditation on the mysteries. In public recitation, the mysteries must be announced in the manner customary in the place. For private recitation, however, it suffices if the vocal recitation is accompanied by meditation on the mysteries. Why the Rosary? A few good reasons. For world peace, say the Rosary every day to obtain peace for the world. Our Lady of Fatima, 1917. In his encyclical Mense Maio, in the month of May, Pope Paul VI urged Christians to pray to Our Lady, Queen of Peace, for world peace. He laid special emphasis on the Rosary, the prayer so dear to Our Lady and so highly recommended by Supreme Pontiffs. A means for preserving the home. There is no sure means of calling down God's blessings upon the family than the daily recitation of the Rosary. Pope Pius XII. If families will but listen to my message and give Our Lady 10 minutes of their 24 hours by reciting the daily family Rosary, I assure them that their homes will become, by God's grace, peaceful, prayerful places, little heavens, which God, the author of home life, has intended they should be. Father Peyton. For courage in the hardships of life, a powerful means of renewing our courage will undoubtedly be found in the Holy Rosary. Pope Leo XIII. As a ready and easy means of preserving the faith, we have elsewhere brought it to the attention of the devout Christian that not least among the advantages of the Rosary is the ready means it puts in his hands to nourish his faith and to keep him from ignorance of his religion and the danger of error. Pope Leo XIII. For healing the evils of our day, we do not hesitate to affirm, again publicly, that we put great confidence in the Holy Rosary for the healing of evils which afflict our times. Pope Pius XII. A means of Christian perfection. Therefore, we are sure that our children and all their brethren throughout the world will turn the Rosary into a school for learning true perfection, as with a deep spirit of recollection they contemplate the teachings that shine forth from the life of Christ and of Mary Most Holy. Pope John the 23rd. For success in one's vocation in life. I think that I did not miss a single day in reciting it, including the most terrible times of battle when I had no rest night or day. How often did I see her manifest intercession in the decisions which I made in the choosing a precise tactic. Take then the advice of an old soldier seasoned by experience. Do not neglect the recitation of the Rosary for any reason. Marshal Foch, a great military leader of World War I. As a powerful means of obtaining grace from God. Among all the devotions approved by the Church, none has been favored by so many miracles as the devotion of the Most Holy Rosary. Pope Pius XI. For final perseverance. Those who say it fervently and frequently will gradually grow in grace and holiness and will enjoy the special protection of Our Lady and the abiding friendship of God. No one can live continually in sin and continue to say the Rosary. Either he will give up sin or he will give up the Rosary. Bishop Hugh Boyle. The end.